Hello and welcome back to another video on the channel. I'm the Survival Architect, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at this little thing behind me, which is known as a chunk loader. Now this is something that's been used fairly commonly when you want to keep chunks loaded either in the Nether or in the Overworld. In the case of this one here, it's loading my iron farm over there, but this is a very common design. Now obviously I've used this design for my iron farm, and in that video I had a few comments asking how to build it, so that's the point of today's video. Now, the first thing we need to look at is just this nether portal. Pretty simple, stock standard nether portal, 4 blocks along the top and the bottom, and I think it's 5 blocks tall. So you end up with a 2x3 area in the middle when you light it with flint and steel. The next thing that we need to discuss is chunk loading mechanics. So when a entity such as in this case, a minecart or an item or a player goes through a nether portal, the chunks on each side of the nether portal in a 3x3 area around it. So if I turn on, nope, that's hitboxes. That's tooltips. There we go. There's chunk borders. This nether portal is in this chunk here, the one that I'm in as well. When this minecart goes through the portal, it loads a 3x3 chunk area around it. So this chunk here, there, this one there, there, and there. And you can see those conveniently marked out by those red, that area marked out by the red pillars. That does the same thing on the nether side of the portal. So it will also load chunks 3x3 around the nether portal on the nether side. The next thing we have to, which one was it? G? Yep, there we go. The next thing we have to discuss is the mechanics of the redstone. So obviously we've discussed chunk mechanics and the nether portal. This platform here is just so that I can get to and from. And then here is kind of the complicated bit that people have been struggling with. So the main bit is these rails. On the, what is that, right-hand side of the portal, when you are facing north, I think it is. Am I facing north? No, facing west. When you're facing west, on the right-hand side of the nether portal is this little setup here. So it's a block that is on the bottom layer of this nether portal here. So oh, I've broken it. On the bottom layer of this nether portal. Where's my flint and steel? Here it is. It's on the bottom layer of the nether portal. On top of that glass have one powered rail and then another one on top of a hopper that feeds into another hopper back here. That's the collection or the return system for the minecart. Where is the minecart? It's probably on the other side. That is the return system for the minecart. When the minecart comes back through the portal, it lands on this rail, as you're about to see, hopefully. Lands on that rail, comes up here, and hits this cactus. Now, this cactus is simply to break the minecart. The minecart's hitbox comes into contact with the cactus, and it turns into an entity, which is immediately sucked up by the hopper. Now, because the hopper is facing into this hopper here, gets transferred into that hopper, which then pushes it into this dispenser here. Now, dispensers can place minecarts when they are powered, which is the point of this system here. So, this block here is to provide power to both the dispenser and the powered rail through means of powering the powered rail. When you power the powered rail, it will dispense the item that's in it and then leave it powered until you obviously unpower it, and then that will dispense the minecart onto the rail, which will then get shot off into the portal. This here is what is known as a hopper clock. So in here, I have a bunch of items, and then some comparators on the back here. That will then move these, or that will then extend and retract these pistons as these hoppers empty. So if we just wait for this hopper here to empty, goes to 0, gets switched back across, and then items start flooding back in. This is a hopper clock, and it's more specifically known as an ether hopper clock. It's one that he designed and put together. I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. It's a pretty old contraption, but it's constantly used all over the place in this game. Now this can be turned on and off by simply flicking this lever. That will permanently leave this piston extended, so it will always end up in this position over here. If I turn this lever off, this piston will then extend because this one is unpowered, and it will pull the redstone block back across. This will then power the repeater here, 0 ticks, and then that powers the powered rail and dispenser. Now, the number of items in here is actually really important. So if I just turn that lever back on, you're going to see that I think there's 19 items in total. Is there 19 items? I've used cactus, but it can be any item that stacks up to 64 items. So no 16 items, has to be 64. There are 19 cactus in here. And that's very important. The number of items in each hopper determines how quickly this hopper clock changes back and forth. For chunks to remain loaded on both sides of the Nether portal, a entity such as a minecart must pass through it once every 15 seconds? Yeah, 15 seconds. 19 items just so happens to be a 15-second hopper clock. In this case, it works really, really well. Yeah, that's all there is to it on the Overworld side. So what I'm going to do now is pop straight through into the Nether. There's the dead minecart from when we failed. Now on this side, I have just put some carpet on top of everything to stop mobs from spawning, such as ghasts. But essentially, all you really need to know is that the collection system for the minecart and somewhat sending it back have not changed at all. These rails are still in the same place when you're facing west that way. Oh, I've broken it again. I've broken it. Tip for new players, don't go through this Nether portal when it's being used as a chunk loader. It just doesn't work. So this collection and dropping off system remains the same. The powered rail is powered by this block, and that also powers the dispenser. However, how that works is slightly different now. So when the item passes through this hopper, this comparator will detect it. This will then power this redstone dust, which powers this repeater, which powers the block, and thus sends it back through. The reason we don't have one of those fancy 15-second hopper clocks is because the minecart must immediately go back through. Otherwise, the hopper clock on the other side will count down another 15 seconds, and then one side or the other won't be loaded because this one will send it back through a bit too late, and it'll just break some stuff. So this is the most reliable way to get it to work. So yeah, comparator detects the minecart passing through here. I'll just demonstrate that with redstone dust. Yep, there we go. It definitely does power the hopper. Now you've also got a 4-tick repeater here. So this is just a 4-tick repeater. Essentially right click it, makes it 4 ticks. That's it really. That's all you've got to know. This is the Nether side. I've shown you the Overworld side. So really, that's all I've got to say. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's a fairly simple one. I know it's kind of thrown together. I'm pretty busy at the moment. I really wanted to put out this video though because I've seen really recently a few comments asking me what the heck are these chunk loader things and what are they used for? Why do you have one on your farm? I should also say this isn't my design. I didn't put this together, but I had people asking me. I'll put the link to this specific chunk loader and how to build it properly in the video down in the description down below. Thanks very much for watching. Sorry about this being kind of a shoddy video that's just been thrown together, but I do not have a lot of time at the moment. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.